So now we have biosynthetic meshes. The question is, if we are using non-absorbable mesh, should our search for ideal mesh stop or we should keep looking for? So what are biosynthetic meshes? They are commercially available in the name of Phasix or Phasic ST by BART, and they are monofilament meshes made of poly-4-hydroxybutyrate. So this is a fully resorbable material and it absorbs in 18 to 24 months time. A thing to note here is that a monomer form of this compound 4-HB is naturally occurring human metabolite in brain, heart, liver, kidney and muscle. So I have been using this mesh for probably 2 years by now, and I have seen that a very less pain is there in post-operative period. So this could be one reason that very less localized edema, inflammation or peritonitis is there. And also these biosynthetic meshes are relatively resistant to infection. So they does not break down easily compared to biological meshes that they are maintaining 100% strength at 56 days. And now the food for thought is mesh preventing the hernia or it is the tissue integration? We all know it is the scar plate which forms over the mesh which prevents the hernia. And we all been in the open surgery era where we have been closing the sheath starting from Prolene, then shifted to PDS, and we have not seen any wound adhesions. And are we doing overdo with the non-absorbable meshes? So here is a patient who got IPOM surgery 10 years back, and now he came to us with a 1 month history of discharging sinus. So we initially thought it's just a folliculitis. It cannot be possible after 10 years. But when we got a CT done, we could see that a collection was coming from subcutaneous into the peritoneal cavity, and thereafter there was a huge abscess along the previous mesh site. So yes, delayed complications are there, mesh erosion and even the collections. So what is the ideal time of tissue integration? So if we have a compound, a mesh which stays in the human body, and we have an adequate tissue integration, and our work would be done. So maximum tissue integration happens in 6 to 12 weeks time, and a stable scar is formed by 52 weeks of time. So if a compound is there till 52 weeks, a good scar plate would be formed. So we had a first consensus meeting by BARD in January 23, and at that time we were not aware that what are the indications where these resorbable meshes can be used. But over the time, we realized that there can be small hernias where we are unsure that a mesh is required or not, where we can do a primary closure and then put a resorbable mesh. Similarly, there have been some patients like obstructed enterocele. So what if you reduce the content and you have this venous congestion inside? You reduce the bowel, so you wash it with warm saline, give oxygenation. Your bowel is preserved, but you have a lot of inflammatory fluid. So these are cases where you might have a risk of infection. So these meshes is a good idea. And also we have cases with liver cirrhosis, child A, child B, and they might come to you with intestinal obstruction. If you do a pure suture repair, it is liable to open because their pressure is already more due to ascites. If you put a IPOM mesh, the risk of infection is there, immediate phase, and in delayed phase because they might need ascitic tap in later phase. So these resorbable mesh is a good option. Similarly, we have patients with previous infections. The patient got IPOM surgery done outside. They later came to us. We explanted the mesh. We found ATT there. We had given the complete course. Now the patient has a residual hernia. So what to do? So these patients are already fearful of getting a mesh inserted. So these meshes are again a good option. So idea is if there is a risk of infection, you can prefer a resorbable mesh over a non-absorbable mesh. So obstructed hernias, combined surgeries, cirrhotic patients with ascites, immunocompromised, psoriasis patient on rituximab, multiple myeloma patients, transplant patients, patients with previous infection, and even the parastomal hernias. Similarly, if you have a young patient who is planned to get a pregnancy done, so in that either you can delay the hernia repair or you can use a resorbable mesh. And similarly for young males, as sir just pointed, that if you put a 30 by 30 mesh and patient might need a surgery later after for appendicitis, cholecystitis. So there is no foreign body after 2 years with a resorbable mesh. And also there are some indications where we discussed that is a mesh rectopexy is required or a suture rectopexy, or similarly for hiatus hernia should we put in a mesh or not. So these are again cases where we can reinforce the hiatus using a resorbable mesh. And so with our journey at Max Hospital Mohali in last 1.5 years, I have used 27 physics mesh. I have placed it in IPOM plane, in ETAP plane, in hiatus plane. So some patient was psoriasis patient who was on rituximab, one patient was multiple myeloma patient, patient were diabetic, or we have used it in combined surgeries, and our results have been great that there was no mesh infection. The best thing was the pain score. It was 3 out of 10 compared to 7 out of 10 in IPOM, and at 1 week it was 1 out of 10. So there have been some studies on hiatus hernia that this mesh has a good result. And also there was one study where a 60 months data was published, and they used this mesh in a complicated cases, high risk cases, and they also proved that this is a good mesh with no side effects. And I have a video. This patient came to me with a herniated site, and it was a obstructed enterocele. We tried laparoscopy, but there was loss of domain. The ball was so grossly distended. We put in a onlay mesh. So you can see the scarring here. So this is the scar plate after physics mesh. This is the plain physics mesh plate in the onlay plane. This video is to show that these meshes will give a good rigid scar plate. And also you can see that this patient with BMI 43, she did not have a hernia after 1.5 years at the previous hernia site. So she had a hernia at the umbilicus, which was again a weakened area because of her high BMI. So my conclusion is that biosynthetic mesh is a safe and effective option, especially in situations of risk of infection. And short-term result is promising, long-term data is still limited. Pain score is drastically low compared to non-observable meshes, and cost of mesh is more in present scenario. Thank you.
Very, very strong argument, I would say.